Well, hello and welcome once again to the DCL Podcast, where we're inviting you to sit back, relax, and we'll be on our way shortly.
Hey, DCL Podcast fans, it's Steve, and joining me today is...
Holly.
Yeah, back on board the Disney Wonder, and we thought we'd do a couple snippets for you. It's actually day 2 of our cruise. Day 1 flew by pretty fast, as it does.
On a 3-night, yes,
on a 3-night, yeah, which is... We were excited to get back on the Wonder. It was like 2022 was the last time we sailed on her, so it's been 3 years.
It's been a long time.
I feel like every ship that you go on is your favorite ship until you get onto the next ship. You go,
this one. This
one's really cool, too. But this is our 7th cruise on the Wonder, the most that we sailed on out of all the Disney ships. It was our first ship, and I gotta say, I think it really is my favorite ship.
I'm Team Aquadunk.
Yeah, I know. You're Team Magic, and we kind of talked about this. So for all of you out there, I know that like either you've been on a first ship or you've been on the same ship several times or whatever else, but everybody's got like different memories. I think the Magic to me, well, first of all, I just like the classic ships. We'll talk about it here in a second. We were out at the adult pool today. It was beautiful. There is no adult space that beats the classic ships.
Yeah, I will agree with that 100%.
Yeah, and so you've got that, but I think with the Magic, it was just the fact that where it went. And it makes me sad because she's like stuck doing Progresso and Cosmo out of Galveston now. And then she's going to make her way over to Fort Lauderdale again and everything like that. And she deserves
Europe.
It's just, she cut her teeth over there. She was the first one over there. But 3-day cruise. We started off down at Disneyland. It was fun to get back down there. Kind of busy. I forgot it was kind of spring break.
We forgot our kids had spring break last week, so we kind of forgot that the whole world doesn't have spring break when our kids have spring break, and Disneyland was a zoo.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was busy, but it wasn't like wall-to-wall busy.
It wasn't Disney World busy, it was Disneyland busy.
So, but anyways, flew down, got a rental car, and we're in the park. So we left Portland at 7 a.m., and we were in the park by about 10:30.
Yes.
So that's probably about as good as you can do.
I think so, too.
So started off at California Adventure. So what was our first ride?
In the Incredicoaster.
The Incredicoaster, why?
Because people are riding the Incredicoaster.
Family joke is like at 7:30, I used to wake the kids up when they were younger. It's like, people are already on the Incredicoaster.
Hurry.
We got to get going, man. So anyways, yeah. That was still one of my favorite roller coasters.
It is, yes, 100%.
Love the I think, matter of fact, it is my favorite roller coaster out of the Disney coasters and stuff like that. But maybe there's something better. We haven't ridden Tron yet.
Right.
Is that a coaster? I don't know. Maybe it is. I guess it is a coaster. But yeah, so fun day at Disneyland and California Adventure. Kind of did all the highlights. Haunted Mansion, Pirates. Big Thunder Mountain was always a favorite of ours. So we rode that. Didn't do Genie Plus or anything like that. Just waited in line. Probably about anywhere from 30 to 50 minutes. It really wasn't that bad.
I think the longest was, we rode the Incredicoaster twice, so I think the longest was the second time we rode it after dark.
Right. So, but a fun day at Disneyland and California Adventure.
I had a totally awesome dinner in Delta Disney. Paseo, which was incidentally also my very first car that I purchased for myself. But great food, great guac, great service.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It was really amazing food. Disney prices, so yeah. I mean, be prepared for that, but I thought it was well worth it as far as like, I got a chili relleno. It was amazing. And
enchiladas, which is not usually my first choice, but they were very, very good.
Yeah, and even though it was a little bit cool out, they have got some heaters. We were sitting outside. They had some heaters. It was a nice dinner there. And then, as you said, we topped it off with another ride in the Incredicoaster. Stayed at the Grand Cal. If anybody is a DVC staying at the Grand Cal right now, just know that they are
painting.
They're doing some construction, some painting around and everything like that. So when we opened up our balcony, it was like the typical Christy view. We opened it up and we couldn't go on our balcony because
there was scaffolding.
You couldn't see out. All you could see was
anyway. But it was one night. It was not a big deal.
Yeah, no, we're not complaining whatsoever.
The view from the ship is better.
Yeah, and they did redo the rooms, and I like the rooms. They got rid of the carpeting. They've got
it was good. It's good.
Kind of the vinyl flooring down now and everything like that. Just kind of like what they've been doing at Disney World. Made our way down to San Diego, about an hour and a half. We decided to drive this time. Won't go into all the details for that, but we drove down, grabbed an Uber. No, we didn't walk. Made it to the port. And
thank you, Seth, for shaming Steve.
Yes, thank you, Seth, for shaming me on the walk. Well,
they've moved the rental car place at San Diego, and it was going to be farther than we anticipated.
Yeah, they got a brand new rental car place, which is on the other side of the airport, so it's going to be a little bit of a walk. But I will say this. This is probably our 5th time doing this, sailing out of San Diego, and it could be a zoo.
It was the smoothest, most organized embarkation in San Diego ever.
Yeah, it was like super chill. Everybody was really cool. They had like different lines marked out now, which they never had before. You go through like a little walkway where a man meets you or a gal meets you, and it's like when was your boarding time? They put you into your row. We'd already missed ours, so they just put us right to the front of the line, walked in, and it took us all of about 15 minutes around the ship.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah. Made it up to Cabanas because we're Team Cabanas, did the Cabanas thing, and then just kind of hung out up at the adult area for a while till our rooms were ready. They said they're going to be ready at 1:30, and they were.
They were ready at 1:30.
Yeah. Bags were here pretty quickly. Our guy, Andy, our cabin steward, Andy, has been amazing. Got to meet him right away. And that was kind of about it. So
got to the room. Unpacked.
Yeah.
Headed out.
Just good to be back on the Wonder. She looks amazing, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah. I remember a long time ago that Nova had she went down to Cabo. Their family went down to Cabo and it was kind of loud in the back. We're always in the back, team back, on the right-hand side. Yeah. And it kind of creaks a little bit, probably more so than the fantasy. The room does, more so than the fantasy, but nothing too bad.
No.
But we're kind of putzing along. We're not going full speed.
Going very fast.
But I haven't heard those complaints recently from other people. But as far as the stateroom goes, the carpeting looks amazing. The bedding is always amazing. And I love the space that we have here.
Yep. No, it's a good deal. About a year and a half ago, we sailed on the Magic, this 3-night out of San Diego, and with some friends who had never been on a cruise before, a Disney cruise before. So we couldn't, because we were sailing with them, we couldn't book Palo when we would have normally booked it.
Right, because they were first-time cruisers.
Yes, so we ended up with a first night at Palo and decided it was our new favorite thing.
Why?
Because the first night is always a little bit of chaos in the dining room.
Right.
And we like the sail away out of San Diego, and Palo with the view and the sunset on the first night was lovely. Yeah,
it was amazing. So if you're on a 3-night, so on a 7-night, maybe 5-night, I'm not sure exactly where the cutoff is, but you can always book Palo first night and then book Palo again if you want to do it twice. On the 3-night, you can't. You can only book it once. I missed the window to actually book the second or the third night. And so the first night was the only one that was available. And then we started thinking about it. We were talking about it. It's like the first night on a 3-night is so nice because, as Wake said, it's a big turnover for the crew. It's a stressful day for them. It can be kind of, sometimes it can be a little bit chaotic. Your experiences may vary as far as that first night dining experience is. But when we did it last year, it was really nice. We went to second dining and then our third dining because they kind of found
their groove.
Yeah, they found their groove, which is what they always do. And so going to Palo the first night might be a good way.
A good 3-night cruise thing.
Yeah, a good 3-night cruise thing, which I think we're going to continue to do. There wasn't a lot of people up there.
It got more as it went on.
Beautiful dinner.
Beautiful dinner. Great service as always.
As always. So today was our sea day. We're just getting ready to go to dinner here now. So we're going to Triton's tonight. So
we did 80s music trivia. We had a high confidence, low results.
Yeah. We were terrible. We got like 25 out of 40.
We did better than a lot of people.
Yeah, there was some, it's the Rick Astley one that gets us. Rick Astley.
Yeah.
For Rick Astley. Most people are probably like Rick Astley. I don't even know. Anyways, that song always gets us. But someday we're gonna win one of those new medals.
Someday we're getting it, yeah.
But it was fun. So yeah, get up. I ran on the treadmill and Wake got up and walked around Tech 4. We had dinner at Cabanas in the morning, went over to the Cove Cafe, had a nice coffee. Got Mickey as my character, which is always fun to get. Then we hung out at the pool. It was beautiful. They just putz along. We're not going more than maybe, I don't even know. We have to do more than a knot, I think.
We're going slow, yeah.
Because it's like...
We did wine tasting.
Yeah, we're good. But anyways, yeah, kind of a putzing day. We were hanging out by the pool. But yeah, before we went to the pool, we did wine tasting. Why did you like wine tasting?
Always lovely. Always good information.
Yeah. It was,
Each sommelier has their own take on, and it's, yeah.
So if you're a drink tasting fan, or if you're like, oh, we already did that, I don't want to do it again. The thing that we found is like, especially with like wine, there's like so much to learn, and you can always learn something different. And today, the sommelier, he was from Myanmar, which is kind of cool. And he was telling us that he gave us the way to break it down from New World to Old World wines, from hot to cold, once you got into those different regions. So like if you look at
narrowing down.
Yeah, narrowing the different regions. I won't bore you with the whole thing, but it was really fascinating. It was
super fascinating.
Yeah, so fun wine tasting as well. We watched a little, for you NCAA fans, I know Nova has probably had all the games on today, watching.
Worrying about her bracket,
as Christy was too, I'm sure.
Right.
Blake was busy running, and Katie they were both running.
They were training for something important.
No, they weren't training. They were running today as Springtime Surprise.
Oh, yeah, Springtime Surprise. Okay, never mind.
They were doing
with the training.
They were doing the 10K, so they couldn't be worrying about their brackets because Christy was worrying about it. But we watched a little basketball down in Crown and Finn,
Auburn, Florida, which we could have cared less about.
And if you're an Auburn, if it's your bracket, or if you're an Auburn, Florida fan, hope your team won. won, and if your team lost, I'm
Florida
sorry.
won.
So, but anyways, it's been a fun 2-day cruise. But tomorrow we are pulling into Ensenada. My favorite thing to do is to get up in the morning, get some coffee, and see our friends the seals.
Yes.
They are always sitting out on the different buoys as you sail in, barking and greeting you as you enter into the port of Ensenada. So kind of a little, I think Ensenada, not a lot of people are doing stuff off the ship, it sounds like. Ensenada's kind of like the NASA
of the West Coast.
Of the West.
We like it. Every port adventure we have done in Ensenada, we have enjoyed.
Yeah. We're going to go wine tasting. We did that during COVID. We were like, hey, let's go do that again.
Try it again.
Try it when it's real. Yeah, without the COVID restrictions. And it canceled because why?
We were the only two that signed up.
We're the only two that signed up. They're like,
there are a lot of families on board with really small children.
Yeah.
You know, like young elementary school aged kids. So
Or younger.
Yeah.
A lot of toddlers.
I mean, actually, so interestingly enough, this is our 20th cruise.
Yeah.
This is the first time that we have had a crying in the night infant next door.
Yeah.
Which is, that's probably good luck that we haven't ever had that.
But it's no big deal.
No, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we're parents. We're glad it's not our baby crying.
Yeah. I mean, I just hope that those parents are getting a little sleep.
Yes, I hope they're getting some sleep.
And enjoying their time on the cruise as well. So, so we pivoted. We're like, looked to see what there was. There was like some kind of cool, I always wanted this, like a Mexican tequila food tasting. And there was only one spot. So we have picked
a Jeep safari.
So we're going on a Jeep safari. We're going to go through the wine country in the Jeep. And they promised us 6 tequila shots. Which I'm not sure that that's true.
Me. Steve's going to be going home alone.
I am not going to be drinking 6 tequila shots. But I think there's... There are some tacos, maybe some chips involved too.
Yeah, that I could do the chips, but I'm not having 6 tequila shots.
So
I'm not doing 1 tequila shot.
We will report back on the Jeep Adventure Extravaganza.
And tell you how many shots of tequila there actually were.
No. And hopefully we'll be drinking I know we will be drinking the shots of tequila after you drive the Jeep. So anyways, we have enjoyed, it's just fun to be back in the bubble. It's fun.
Our favorite hotel that moves.
Yeah, it's a fun 3-day weekend getaway for us to down here on the West Coast without having to fly all the way to the East Coast. And for all of you who go down and sail on the Wish, if you live in the Florida area and do the 3 and 4 night sailings,
same difference. Yeah,
we totally get it. If we lived there, we'd be doing the same thing too. So, but I am so appreciative the Disney Cruise Line has continued to try and build their presence on the West Coast. So, love the Disney Wonder. She looks amazing. The Great White Whale of the Disney ships, if you can make it on her, she's headed to Alaska next, and then over to Australia. And this is the first time I've heard this. I haven't been listening to millions and millions of cruising podcasts that might be covering Disney Cruise Line lately, but they did say that the crossing was pretty rocky this time coming.
Yeah, they did say that.
From Sydney.
More so than last year.
And what was interesting is like in every bathroom there are like airsick bags, basically like motion sickness bags like you would have on the airplane. Yeah.
Bags which I've never seen on a Disney ship ever.
So yeah, I'd never seen that either. And I will say that I was in San Diego the day the cruise before us left, and there was a huge weather system that moved through the Southwest, and it was pretty stormy, so it could be reminiscent of that too. So just realize that when you come to the Pacific, it's been smooth for us. You can feel
we can feel movement, which is not usual,
but it's not anything like going across the Florida Straits when you leave.
No.
When you leave Port Canaveral. So for us, it's been a very good sailing, but just be aware that the Pacific can be a little bumpy. And also, we were down in the French Quarter Lounge, and our server down there was saying that one thing to be aware is that if you go to Australia, it's pretty rocky there too.
It's around Australia.
Yeah. So just if you're going to do one of those 3-day Australia cruises, just if you have motion sickness, plan accordingly. So I think that's it. We're going to head over to
time for dinner.
Yeah. What's your course?
Fried brie
and escargot for me.
Yeah.
Sounds like an award-winning night.
It does.
So thanks for coming along with us. Thanks for Christy and Lake letting us jump on board and share little snippets of our cruise.
Yep, we'll be back.
We'll be back after tomorrow at some point. We've got Jeep, you've got Spa, and I've got just enjoying being on the beautiful Disney Wonder.
So we'll chat tomorrow night, and maybe once we get home.
All right, cheers everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Well, hello DCL Podcast fans. We are on day number 3. Night number 3.
Well, sorry.
Yeah. So, give a little recap. I think last left off, we're heading to dinner last night, and so we had dinner and Tritons. Always a family fave, for at least for me. Escargot.
Me too.
Fried brie for you, and
Alex's favorite food on, apparently, we got our signals crossed when we did
a long time ago. Yeah.
Alex's favorite Chateaubriand.
Yeah. Who knew? We always thought it was pizza, but it was actually Chateaubriand was his favorite food when you guys did that.
I can't remember what it's called. Like the parent-child
game show on board, which was a couple moons ago, but that was pretty funny.
Did terribly.
So anyways, ended up with a table with a whole bunch of other couples and super fun couples.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Each time that we've had that experience where we've been just the two of us and we've been put with good groups of other couples.
Two couples first time cruising. A lot of first time cruises on this.
A lot of cruises.
To be expected. 3-night cruise, West Coast.
Yeah, a lot of California first time cruisers.
Yeah, checking it out for the first time, seeing if they want to do it. And I think both those couples are going to end up going to Alaska. That's what they really wanted to do, but they wanted to check it out first. So, it's a good dinner last night.
I think Disney put us with them for the sales pitch. We're the closers.
Yeah, I don't know about that. They were like, you guys are obviously addicted to cruising. We are. So what did we do after that? I don't even remember. I don't think we did anything.
After dinner, we just came back, changed clothes quick, and went out for the fireworks.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, fireworks last night. So pirate night and
love me some pirate night fireworks.
You know what? I got to be honest. We don't really watch the show, but if I was going to watch the show, the Wishes show is cool with Red. I have no idea what they're doing on the Treasure. I haven't heard that one yet, but I do like the one on the Magic and the Wonder as far as it's kind of a fun little show.
It's fun. Yeah.
Mickey Saves the Day. I won't tell you more than that. And you can't beat Pirates of the Caribbean music as the fireworks.
It's my favorite thing ever.
Yeah. So did that. And then we went to bed. That was it. So day 3, we had to pivot because we signed up to do wine tasting in the end.
We were the only 2 people on board who wanted to do that.
I guess, other people wanted to do it. They just didn't realize that they wanted to do that tour. So they called and they told us we needed to pivot. So we're going to go to L.A. Seto, which is like Mexico's biggest winery here, and just an amazing wine region for Mexico. It's a young wine industry that they're building right here. It was kind of interesting. We get some good information.
So we gotta say what we actually did.
No, I will. But I was just going to say that we got some really good information from a winemaker here down in Ensenada. Or what's the name of the valley? That's my problem.
It's the Guadalupe Valley. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's also I think it's kind of the wine region.
Oh, it is.
There were signs on the highway going in that was like, this is the Valley of Wine.
Yeah, that's what he said. So anyways, we had to pivot. You kind of picked it. We were going to do a Jeep driving tour through the valley.
Through the valley, and then it said something about tequila tasting, and we were like, "Oh, do we really have to do that part?" And you did.
You did. It was fun. So we got in. They picked us up at the port. We went over to downtown Ensenada. We got into 3 Jeeps. There was a family.
10 people total.
Family, and then 3 couples. We had our own Jeep,
which was probably a good thing.
And we took off.
Yep,
and we had a leader. Town. We had a leader, Alfonso. He was awesome. And they took us through town, and then we did probably about an hour drive through the valley, which was really kind of amazing to see. We'd been there obviously when we did the winery last time.
So much better, really, to see it from the Jeep.
Yeah.
Because in the bus, you can't really see much.
Yeah.
Which is sort of my complaint always with having to be on a bus. But it was great.
Yeah, a lot of bouncy dirt road.
Yeah,
and everything else. But what was cool was there's anybody says over 1,000 bed and breakfasts here, little Airbnbs where people come.
Cool little huts. I mean, that's not the right word. That sounds more primitive because they were pretty fancy.
Yeah, individual places to cabins.
Stay. Yeah, like a place, like a main entrance or whatever, but then individual little houses, almost like tiny houses. I guess that's more accurate description.
Yeah, so we got a good tour through the valley. One of the family that had the kids, the mom was super excited about it. She'd been watching Instagram videos.
Wow, really?
The valley, and I remember being pretty, but it was a nice drive through. And then we pulled up to a family restaurant and kind of a small boutique winery that they are building there. Where we had some lunch.
We had lunch, and then there was some little booth with jewelry and art and stuff that we bought all of.
Yeah. You got a bracelet, and then there was a guy that was doing these really cool with paint. It was kind of brighter colors with his fingernail and
on tile.
Yeah, on tile, and he painted the Disney ship, the Disney Wonder. So
in the harbor in Ensenada.
In the harbor in Ensenada with some palm trees and everything like that. It's really kind of cool. It's that's something that I don't normally buy. It was $30.
Shoppers,
it was it was cool to support him, and it's kind of cool little gift to bring back. But then we did the wine tasting, and that's where he kind of told us that when the wine industry here, for those of you interested in Mexico, it started in
60 years ago.
Yes, about 60 years ago. I was thinking 1960, but about 60 years ago. As kind of, they've been making it since the Spaniards came here. But
for church, for communion wine.
Yeah, but it kind of really took off. And what they did was they made high-end wines for the rich people in Mexico. And there's only so many I mean, there's
so many of those people, right?
Right. There's only so many of those people that they could sell to. And so it kind of skyrocketed and then came plummeting down. And now they're trying to build it and build out like the knowledge for the mass markets, the people of Mexico. A lot of the smaller ones, they're not exporting yet. El Cetto is CETTO.
Right.
We've actually there's a local Mexican restaurant near our house that has it. So you may be able to find it where you are. But it's kind of cool to see that like what he's trying to do is they're making good wines.
They're making good wines for he said a beginner and an intermediate palate.
Yeah, which is what they need to do to build up their clients.
You need to create wine drinkers before you can have a wine industry.
Right.
And it was actually, and we also bought a bottle of wine.
Which we're drinking right
now. It was really good and definitely not intimidating, scary, expensive, fancy wines.
No,
like good
wine though.
Normal, like he said, like throw it in your bag and take it to the beach. It was like we say pool wine. It was like barbecue. It's good. It's good.
Right. So, and then after that, there was a couple guys there that took us through a mezcal tasting, and we won't go.
They were absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. So, if you don't know what mezcal is,
which we did not.
Yeah, really mezcal is
it's
white
green agave that is smoked.
So similar plant that they use to make the blue agave is what they use to make tequila. The mezcal, and here's what we didn't know. So mezcal has an alcohol content of over 40% and higher.
Yes.
And they can make it in the Baja region, but tequila can only be made.
Tequila's essentially like champagne or bourbon, where it needs to come from a very specific place. And there's only, I think what they say, nine places in Mexico that can make actual tequila.
Right. So yeah, they took us through that. So it was kind of cool, smoky. So the first three were kind of like tequila, like Blanco. I always forget the middle one. Reposado and Añejo. And then, so it's just longer times in the barrel. And then they had they were kind of mixed with fruit.
Which is more like schnapps, like low alcohol, fruity.
But the really cool thing that they had was a scorpion in the scorpion.
Yeah. And one of the couples on the tour with us, the guy was like, does anybody want to try the mezcal with the scorpion? And a couple people did. I was like, oh boy, no, I am not interested in anything with a scorpion in the bottle. But one guy bought it because he was like, this is just cool. And they did tell us what sort of critter, I guess, that they put in the bottle is indicative of the area where it was made.
So you find worms in tequila.
No, worms in, it was like worms were in a certain region with mezcal. And I can't remember now which one was which, but.
Well, the scorpion's here. We are talking a lot about drinking. So hopefully.
It was interesting.
Yeah, for those. Yeah, so I mean, I guess that's something. And then after that.
We drove back on the Jeeps back into town.
He took us
a completely different way, like through actually like a neighborhood where people, where actual people live, which was super cool. And then we ended up back down in the town of Ensenada. We did another tequila tasting.
Yeah.
And like, it was sort of like a speakeasy almost.
It was.
Like there was like, you watched the building didn't look like anything. We kind of walked in and like up a couple of stairs, and then there was this like big metal door that opened, and it was like a super cool place on the inside.
Yeah.
Like, cool lights and tables and again, like super awesome proprietors of the establishment. It was really cool.
And on that way back, when we went up over a hill, he had a great view of the harbor. You could see the wonder down in the harbor.
Yeah. Taking pictures and it was awesome.
So then we went to the tequila tasting, kind of the same thing as the mezcal. The one thing we learned, what tequila fans out there, tequila alcohol is about 25% in Mexico, and they cannot export it to the U.S. because the U.S., I'm not sure who puts the law on
it. The U.S., she said the U.S. does.
The U.S. puts a law on it that it has to be over 40% or higher. So that's why tequila has much more alcohol in the U.S. than it does down here.
So when you order your margarita at the pool in Cabo and you think this doesn't have any alcohol in it, that's why. It's like legit tequila, not exported tequila.
And it was really good. It was smooth. It was a small batch tequila maker there that they were kind of representing, and then they gave the opportunity to buy tequila afterwards too. And from there, we just kind of walked back to the ship through downtown. Kind of gave us some different places if you wanted to try some tacos, or if you wanted to go buy seafood tacos, if you wanted to go do some shopping and everything else. And I guess I am full-on fan of Ensenada.
Me too.
And it's kind of like Nassau. There's some amazing things that you can do in Nassau, and I think there's some amazing things that you can do in Ensenada if you take the time. And if it's in, two of the couples, they didn't get off the ship today. They're brand new one. I totally understand that. Stay on the ship. Enjoy the ship. It's your first time cruising with Disney.
Is to see the ship.
Go do that. For us, we've been on the cruises before, And we love to go explore Ensenada. Everything that we've done here has been outstanding.
Really, like probably some of the best port excursions we've done.
And
been here.
Great values. Great values. There was, we were at the wine tasting, that same place they were doing Mexican food cooking class that we tried to sign up for.
They made salsa and guacamole and enchiladas and something else that I can't remember.
Yeah.
And they got to taste it, and the guy was like, we had those people joined us at the end for the mezcal tasting, and they said they had unlimited margaritas and like fairly amazing excursion. It was like $49
per person. Yeah. So all the margaritas you could drink and just make some incredible food. We ate, not their food they were making, but that's where we ate, and it was really good. So I guess we should touch on the ship just a little bit because we talked about Ensenada, but the ship has been amazing. She's older, but she looks good.
I think so too.
Everything is in working order. Really enjoy the staterooms.
As always, the crew members are just
awesome,
top notch.
And what's kind of cool is we ran into this morning at breakfast. We ran into
it was yesterday morning.
Oh, yesterday morning. Yeah. Who was the head server for both of our Christmas cruises on the Fantasy over the last 2 years?
Yes,
and it was super fun to see him. He saw us, and so we got to connect with him. So they've got a great crew here on this ship.
Honestly, that is the most amazing thing about Disney, and the true reason that we come back is that the crew, you see them over and over and over, and you feel like an actual personal connection. You kind of like get to know people, and it's a good deal.
Our dining service team, Gusti and Shiv, bam, bam, bam. We've had some sailing.
It's a crazy group. There was one couple that wasn't there last night, but there's 10 of us.
Yeah.
5 couples. That can be a little unwieldy.
Yeah.
Right? And
they get the food out quick.
They were,
and drinks and
good recommendation.
Best. Probably, I'm not going to say that they were better than our last serving team, but that's a whole other story. And not to throw anybody under the bus. That was just kind of a mess. There was a couple of people put together.
Yeah.
And it happens. But man, just this whole crew is just everything that we've experienced on here, from the entertainment staff to our stateroom host, Andy, to we're really looking forward to dinner tonight with the couples and also with Gusti and Shiv. So I can't say enough about the wonder. And if you've been on the Wish and the Treasure and all the big fancy new ships, come out to the West Coast, give it a shot.
Right.
Because West Coast. Give it a shot with the wonder. Magic's going to be out here going up to Alaska this summer too. They have kind of an ambiance and just a vibe all their own, which is quite a bit different than the new ships and still
even different than the
Fantasy and the Dream. Yeah. So come out to the West Coast, give it a shot. San Diego, super easy place to fly into. The port's literally 15 minutes away from the airport.
And you know what? Truly, if you haven't been, Alaska is a must-do.
Yeah. Whether you can do it on Disney or not, if that's in your radar whatsoever, take the time to do it.
It's an amazing place.
And if you do it May or June. May, June, July also. Because once you get into August, it can rain in May and June also, but it tends to get a little bit more rainy in August. So I think we're going to sign off. Anything else you can think of?
Nope.
No. So this has been fun doing this. We will put together maybe kind of a final snippet after maybe we're over in the airport tomorrow heading home.
We could probably do that.
And talk about our last night here, see if anything crazy. Maybe we ran into Pluto when we first got on. We haven't seen him since. I'm not sure what he's been doing.
I will also say that one of the couples because last night was pirate night.
Yeah.
So one of the couples at dinner was dressed as a pirate.
He was good.
And he was super funny. And he also had a very long black wig on. So what I am most looking forward to at dinner tonight is to see what he really likes. Because he clearly didn't have long black hair.
No, that is so curious to see what he looks like. So, all right, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this snippet. Hope you enjoyed following along with our little adventure. And come out to the West Coast. We'll finish it up. We'll finish it up with a quick snippet to finish it all up. So cheers, and hope everybody has a great night or whatever you're doing as you're listening to this.
Right. See you later.
Cheers, everybody. Bye.
Well, hello, DCL Podcast fans. We are back. It is night 3 here on the Disney Wonder. We're sitting in the lobby listening to the music. It's got some nice music playing in the background. There's nobody else here. And Anawig's laughing at me because we are not. We're at home.
It's like, why are we going to really pretend that?
But I found this app that says, I found this thing on YouTube. It's Disney Cruise Line Atrium Ambiance.
Which is better than our kitchen.
Yes. So figured we'd throw it on in the background. Have some little Disney music going in the background and everything else. But I figured we would put a bow on these episodes, or these snippet episodes. I think we left off, we talked about going on our excursion, which was looking back on it. Any more thoughts?
No.
Just crazy Jeep experience.
Yeah.
Super fun though.
Yeah, super fun. So we took off our last night. We kind of packed everything up, put our bags out, and then headed down to the French Quarter Lounge, which I think let's do this real quick. I want to do this really quick. I'm going to put you on the spot. Just give me 3 top lounges or spaces that you enjoy on Disney Cruise Line.
Just in general, any space?
Yeah, just three of, not the atrium. I mean, the atrium's like that. 3 lounges.
Lounges? Okay.
Across the ships that we've sailed.
I'm going to say Meridian.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, can I say the Cove?
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah.
The Cove and the French Quarter.
Really? Over Ooh La La.
Oh.
I know. Got you there.
You do have me there.
Yeah.
Maybe the Cove and Ooh La La tied.
Really? Okay, so you're gonna get around it that way. Okay.
Get morning and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love Ooh La La. I don't think there's anything that even comes close to that besides Meridian as far as the 2 and the Cove. Those 3 spaces are amazing, all for different reasons.
Exactly.
Yeah, Meridian, especially with the view in the back of the ship. But I will say that sitting in the French Quarter Lounge, if it's not 3 in my book, it's in the top 4 because
I guess that's kind of what I said.
Yeah, it would basically let you and everything like that. But I love the. I mean, it's not subtle. It's good theming. I think it's similar to the Magic, and I can't remember. It's based on
Soul Cat, but that's
Soul
new.
Cat Lounge.
Soul Cat's new. I don't remember what it was before actually, which is
right. I mean,
it's probably why it needed a refresh because we don't remember what it was.
I think it's the same one that's when you come on the Fantasy and the Dream. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, they both needed a refresh. They're both great spaces to spend some time, have a beverage. Just like I think when we're on the Wonder, it's our go-to space before going to dinner to watch some music or listen to some music and then have a beverage and then head on into dinner. And it didn't disappoint.
The servers are always really super friendly and chatty because it's never that crowded, so they have time to.
Yeah.
I mean, unless there's like a trivia or a drawing or something like that, like an activity actually happening there.
I think right after we're at second dining, right after first dining gets out, it gets crowded because people are walking by and they just want to grab a drink or something like that before they head to whatever they're doing. Or there's a lot of people like us that kind of come in there right before, but like an hour before, yeah, it's definitely like once the initial first dining's going, there's not anybody there. But there was a group, Soul Duo, which was on board, which we listened to them out in the lobby. They were kind of the group that the first night they were like, the second night they were playing music as you went into Triton's. But man, and they were playing some interesting songs, but boy, they were knocking it out of the park.
They were really good. People were up dancing, families, couples. It was great.
Yeah. So what's your favorite lounge? What's your favorite space? Definitely for us, I think, I can't even say, why does it go to the lounge?
We even have a glass from there.
I know. I've got 2 of the cards that they use they put down for your drinks, which I'm using.
Tarot cards, yeah.
The tarot cards, which I'm using as a bookmark, and it just does not stick in my brain. Anyways, great space. Went there and listened to some great music, watched a fun couple dance, and then we finished up with the Animator's Palette. That was our last night.
I love it. It was a Christy family favorite.
Yeah, never disappoints. Won't give away the end of the show in case you haven't been on the Wonder of the Magic and have not done the actual original, the OG Animator's Palette, but I think that is still one of my favorite spaces. Yep. Love it. Food was good. We, once again, were lucky, had a great group.
Great crew.
Yeah.
People that we were with.
And everybody showed up for dinner that night. Everybody was there. We missed the first night. Everybody's there for breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. Which is cool. Also super cool.
Yeah, and I think people were excited to come and, say goodbye to everybody too.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which is funny because that was just a 3-night cruise and we didn't even go the first night. So we only saw
2 nights. Yeah. No, it was definitely, it was a great group of people.
Yeah.
We did we joke with one of the couples. There were 2, I think we said this before, but 2 couples that were first-time cruisers that were sort of thinking about Alaska. And we walked out of dinner with one of the couples and I said, that's why they put us with you guys because they think that we're going to be the closers. We're going to get you over that hump to book that Alaska cruise.
Speaking of which, I'm going to go on a side note here. If you're not listening to the Alaska series that has been going on the DCL podcast,
do it.
Go back and listen to it. Even if you've never thought about going to Alaska, go and listen to it.
Or even if you've been.
Or if you've been. Because I just listened to the one today with Sarah and Ken, good friends of Blake. They do a lot around Disney stuff. And they were talking about hiking, and we're going to go to Alaska in 26. And so you're going to have to listen because they piqued my mind with a couple different things. So go back and check out those episodes.
I'm a big fan of a hike at Mount Roberts. Is that what they were talking about?
No, they talked about that. They haven't done that one, but they've done some other ones which were really sounded cool. One of them was like you hiked up there and there was like some kayaks hanging out there, like that the townspeople put up there so people could use them in the summer. It's free.
Awesome.
Free. Something free, right?
not even included.
Yeah,
just
not
actually
even
like
included.
free.
Legit free, exactly. So, anyways, we ended up going down to Azure, which is the adults kind of space.
Yeah.
They were doing an 80s. I can't even remember what it was.
Well, I think we thought it was going to be. I don't know what we thought.
I thought it was gonna be like 80s music. There's like a couple different game shows.
Like the name that tune kind of thing. It's sort of like not necessarily trivia, but anyway.
Yeah, it was kind of like game show stuff, but it was 2 team captains. There was probably only like 20 people down there.
But there were 2 team captains that I think had been team captains each night of the cruise.
Yeah, and we were on Larry's team, and Larry, let me just think about like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Santa Claus, but he's from Santa Cruz, California Santa Claus.
Santa.
Yeah, with the long hair, kind of braided back, and he was like a character, and so was the other team. I can't remember what her name was. Yvette. Yeah.
Also from LA.
Yeah, from LA. So a lot of fun people, just having
Super
a good
fun.
time.
Yeah, and like we had to choreograph dance, and it was great.
Yeah, so that ended up that was a good way to cap off the cruise, I think.
Totally, because it was actually like an unexpected gem.
Yeah, and it goes to show that sometimes
just go.
Yeah, just go. Have fun. Don't be embarrassed. Be embarrassed. Make fun of yourself.
Make fun of yourself. Don't take yourself too serious.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's what once you break down those walls, if you're kind of like me or some other people where you're just kind of like, oh, I don't want to get out there. There's actually 3 girls. It was funny. They'd gone to Tiana's and they had props. So they were all dressed exactly the same.
When you do the
conga line
at Tiana's, and they give out like a fake saxophone and a fake they give people stuff.
Right.
And one of the girls had her saxophone, and one of the things that they had to act out was Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, and she actually like had a saxophone. And the other team was like, "What? Yeah. You actually brought a sax? Like, how did you know?" Anyway, it was just like luck of the draw, but it was hilarious.
She was channeling her inner Clarence Clemens.
Yeah.
For those Springsteen fans out there.
Yeah. Oh, it was funny.
But yeah, fun way to end it. So that was it. So the next day we got off the ship and got up 8:00. That's the best part about late night dining.
It is, yeah.
Other than having not to rush, even on the West Coast, I don't mind late night dining.
No, so, we're used to it now, I guess.
Yeah. So 8:00. So I got up, wandered around, took some pictures. I always loved sailing into San Diego. Sailing out of San Diego, I think is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's nice.
I love going around. Coronado Island, just especially as the sun's setting sometimes. And then as you head out to sea, a lot of times. This time it was a little bit different because we're usually in the fall. And so usually by the time we're heading out there, the sun's setting. And this time it was still light out. But still just a beautiful trip around Coronado Island as you head out to sea. But yeah, so we get up 8:00. I went to Cove, had one more cappuccino, and then we went down, had our breakfast. And once again, the beauty of San Diego is like we had breakfast and we let them know that we were trying to catch an earlier flight. So
8 a.m. breakfast, and we were past security in the terminal by 9:15.
Yeah, in the airport terminal.
Like we had checked our bags.
Yeah, so we
do a pre-check, but
yeah, I think it was
did we go? We went.
We did. Go through.
We went through the crew line, so maybe that.
Well, even that being said, there's the San Diego lines are always I don't know about Southwest, probably Southwest Flyers out there, but for where we are, it's always super busy in the morning. But by like that 10 o'clock, the mid morning, then over in Terminal 2 where we are, the lines are always pretty light, so easy to make a 10:40 flight. Easy.
Yeah.
Even with an 8 o'clock breakfast. I wouldn't do that with family necessarily. Maybe I might be you might want to leave a little bit earlier.
We could have done it with our kids because they can tote their own bags and stuff. But
you walk up the ship, they've got the new scanner for customs. Mm-hmm. Like literally there was like 2 people in front of us. It took 2 seconds to go through the scanner. And then you're out, you grab your bags. Even like normally we just bring our bags with us. But okay, pro tip here. They keep you on the ship waiting for your bag tags to be called for those brand new cruisers. But usually the bags are always
down. And I watched them on all of the bags.
They were already all
off the side of the ship. I mean, yeah.
Before we went to dinner. For breakfast.
I think
because they were done pulling bags out of the ship. Yeah. But anyways, we didn't say that. Tell anybody to cheat or something like that, but you can leave when you want to leave. And I will put money on it that 99% of the time your bags are. Anyways, so
and if they're not, you wait.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So anyways, walked through the scanner, got our bags, pulled up the Uber app, grabbed an Uber, and we were at the airport, like Anwik said, and plenty of time to catch that 10:40 flight and headed back home. And it was so nice. The best part about the West Coast. I wish we had a little bit longer. I wish we'd been on a little bit longer cruise, but it worked out. Disneyland and then 3 nights on the Wonder. Nice to have a 2-hour flight home.
Yes, nice to have a 2-hour flight home.
Back home by 1:30. That's like Christy. Christy's like back home doing her.
Time to go to the grocery store and
she's
make
like,
dinner.
Yeah, go make dinner, make lunch.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And she's probably like soaking in the pool for an hour or two before she even makes lunch. So just teasing with Christy. Anyways, let's go back. Overall thoughts on the cruise.
We love it. It's a great, quick, easy weekend away. Go spend some time in the bubble. You know, it's the Disney Cruise Line never, ever, ever disappoints. It is always top notch. It's always better than expected.
Yeah. I was texting with Christy afterwards and she was like, she mentioned like, it said there was like several people that we talked to on board that wanted to go to they're excited to go to the adventure. They put in their crew members that were going to go to the adventure, which is the new ship sailing out of Singapore, because a lot of them come from that area of the world.
Yeah. One guy was like, you know, my family can't get here from, he was Indonesian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can't get here from Indonesia, but they can get to Singapore easy.
And he was excited to be able to take them on a cruise.
Yes, to be able to, take
possibly, take them on a cruise. So that was kind of cool. And she'd mentioned something about, worried that how is Disney going to be able to maintain the service. Well, she didn't quite say that. I can't remember. Sorry, Christy, but
cut that part.
Don't cut it. But I guess what I'm going to say is that, like, I think it's exciting for crew members to be able to go and do that. I think that they are finding their footing through the pandemic now that it's several years behind us.
Agreed.
Even in the airlines, for us, you can see it. Like, we've got great people that they're hiring and bringing on board. I think that as we saw, we ran into Rupesh, which was the head server the last 2 times we were on the Fantasy, and I think we've seen him before I think we've probably seen him 4 or 5 times, but on different ships, and now he's on the Wonder. And I think just that consistency of leadership for him, for the dining room team, really,
they bring the culture.
They bring the culture
who've been
from the past, and it really shined. I mean, we had Gusti and
they were really
they're probably 2 of the best servers that we've had in a long time.
Well, I mean, it's an unwieldy group when you have, 4 couples who aren't actually traveling together, like to get all of us sort of on the same page and get our food ordered and out. And it was great. Good
recommendations, quick service, fun service, good, interactions with them and everything like that. And not where we usually like the last people leaving.
Right.
we were one of the first ones. So
they put us with other people. They speed them along.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what it was too. I don't know. They did an awesome job.
Yes.
So overall, the Wonder is a ship, just a beautiful ship. I love that class of ship we talked about. How the adult area for us adults, that when you can spend some time together, it's the biggest space that there really is. The Fantasy and the Dream, they've got a 2-story space, which is kind of similar, but the Wonder is just 1. Signals bar and the pool and everything like that. It's just a great place to hang out. Yeah, I love the restaurants. I love French Quarter Lounge, Cadillac Lounge. Just in Tianos, I wish we could have gone there this time. That's always a good show. Probably my favorite dinner show. Although I've heard a lot of good things about Coco, so excited about that. I don't know when we're getting on the Treasure, but sometime soon. So, and West Coast, easy if you want to build a Disneyland trip into it, either before or after the cruise as well.
Actually, my recommendation would be before.
Yeah,
just because of tiredness level. I don't know that I wouldn't have been super excited to hop off the ship and go spend the rest of the day at Disneyland. But I enjoyed my day prior.
Yeah, Chad and his family did that.
I know. Yeah.
But I think probably just like the parks and down in Florida, I'd probably do the parks first or do Disneyland first. But an hour-and-a-half drive down, and no, not bad. You can take the train. There's an option as well. Driving down was super easy. Drop the car off.
You can see the train station from the ship.
Yeah.
So it's super close.
It's like a 3-block walk from the train station to the ship. So with that, I think that's going to do it. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed coming along with our little 4-day extravaganza down to SoCal. And once again, getting back on the Disney Wonder. When are we going to be back on the Wonder again, Anawake?
Until Alaska.
Yeah. So we pivoted and we're going to recreate the very first Disney cruise we did with the kids in summer of 2026. So not this summer, but next summer.
Yes. So we just that's sort of how Norway last summer came to be, is that they
wanted to do that. Yeah. So I'm super excited about going back to Alaska. So go back and listen to those previous episodes all about Alaska. And then what's next for us?
Well,
yeah.
What's next is ABD to Peru.
That's going to be exciting. Yeah.
We might do snippets along that way with the kids.
It's hard to do snippets on those ABDs.
It is hard.
You are busy.
You're busy.
But if they have us on, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, the next cruise is British Isles.
Yeah, super excited about that. Several listeners and head band of the show now, Lake, is going to be on there too, Lake and Katie. So it's going to be fun sailing with them. So with that, I think we're going to sign out. Thanks to you guys so much for joining us on our little 4-day cruise down to SoCal, and all the best to you and your families as we move into the summer season. And if you're heading out sailing or you're heading out on adventures with Adventures by Disney or just going to the parks, we want to wish you all the best. Just enjoy those magical moments with friends and family.
For sure.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. See you next time.
Well, that's going to wrap up the show. Once again, we want to thank Steve and Wake for recording some snippets on their recent Disney Wonder Sailing. If you're enjoying the show, we greatly appreciate you leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We'd also like to thank our Patreons who help make the show happen each and every week for us. You too can help support the show by visiting us on patreon.com/DCL Podcast. Whether you're boarding a cruise, enjoying a trip to the parks, or adventuring outside of Disney, on behalf of myself, Christy, and Steve, we want to wish you smooth sailing and safe travels. We'll see you next time on the DCL Podcast.
The DCL Podcast is not affiliated with the Disney Cruise Line, Walt Disney Company, Adventures by Disney, or Run Disney. All of the opinions expressed on our shows are those of the hosts and the guests who appear on the show. If you have any questions about any of these products, please contact the Walt Disney Company.